Hello and welcome to Grooving and Giving in Early Retirement. This is Radhika and thank you for spending your time with me today. I left my career in the middle of the pandemic to focus on my passion. Is my not-for-profit I started in 2012 called A Childhood for Children. And when we travel, we like to do projects called Travel with a Purpose. So we were able to do a project in Vietnam, in Da Nang, Vietnam, with an orphanage. It was the Da Nang City Center Orphanage. Now, doing a charity project in Vietnam can take on a different way of doing things. Like you may need a permit because it might be a big project, or what you can do is just take some time from your travels and stop in at like an orphanage. We were able to do that with the Da Nang Orphanage Center. When we visited, they had 9 children there who were abandoned, 9 babies, so all under the age of 3. They have a website, and on their website, it tells you what all they need. So we decided to go shopping. Now, when we do a Travel with a Purpose project, it doesn't just happen. We really have to research where we can go, how we can go and get things done. And like I said, in Vietnam, the challenge is that sometimes if you're coming from a US and you're part of an organization, they may require you to go get a permit of some sort. But if you're going and visiting an orphanage like we did, we bought supplies. So obviously we visited an orphanage for children under the age of 3. And one of the things that they need more than anything else is formula. So we went and purchased formula. We were very fortunate to have the help of our friends. I have a friend, Lynn, who lives in the US, but is from Vietnam. She got us in touch with somebody else. Her name was Fung, and Fung helped us figure out how we navigate the system and obviously the language barrier in Vietnam. We were also lucky that we had 2 other volunteers in Vietnam at the same time that my husband and I were here. So I want to give a shout out to Ivers and Joanna, who came specifically to Da Nang during their visits in Vietnam to be able to do a project with A Childhood for Children. They are volunteers with our organization. So the 4 of us were able to coordinate. We went to several different markets to try and figure out prices, because at first we thought we were going to do some sort of project with the Da Nang Street Children's Center, but that center, which has about 160 children, wanted some more paperwork, some permits, and we weren't able to get those permits. So our best bet was really to go to the Da Nang City Orphanage, a smaller organization, show up there and spend time with the children and bring supplies for the children, which is what we did. Now, we went back twice. The first time we went back, we took milk. We talked to the women who take care of the children. There are 2 women who take care of the children. We asked them what they needed. A lot of translations through Google Translate, and so amazing that we are able to do that and actually understand what we are saying. There's communication. We were able to do that. And then we asked them when we should come back, and we went back 2 days later, and in those 2 days we were able to go buy more supplies. One of the problems that we face in many countries is that you can't always find the number of items you need. So whether it's notebooks, whether it's pencils, sometimes you can't find it in one shop, so you have to go to multiple shops, and that's what we did. We went to multiple shops to find the formula we needed. The other challenge we sometimes run into is that they won't take credit cards and they'll only take cash, and sometimes we won't have sufficient amount of the local currency, and that was the case in some of these in this visit. Luckily, one of the stores we went to did take credit cards, but they didn't have all the supplies. In fact, we needed formula number 2, and they only had 2 cans, which isn't a lot. So we landed up buying something else, and the store clerk was so nice. She, using her own phone, called the orphanage, asked them what else they might need. She even FaceTimed them and showed them the products that we could buy. And so we ended up buying yogurt for the children. So you really do have to pivot. And, you know, you could plan all of it, but when you get on the ground, it's not always the same. So you really have to think on your feet. You have to decide what you're going to buy, what you're going to show up with. So the second time we went, we spent about an hour with the children. We held the children, we held the babies. And it was really, again, a great experience. Now, we know for a fact that we are not solving all their problems. We know that. We know we are not providing them with everything they need. But for every traveler that stops in and provides either it's formula or diapers or whatever they might need, that's one less thing that they have to worry about. And that's one additional thing that the children have for their well-being. So we fully appreciate that this is not the solution to every problem. A lot of people tell me like, oh, you're creating a dependency. When a child is already an orphan and has been abandoned and somebody else is taking care of that child, whether it's the city, whether it's an organization, you as a traveler or you as just a regular Joe Schmo citizen helping out a little bit. It's a small thing, but if everybody did a little bit something, right? If all of us did a little bit of something, it could amount to a lot more. So I highly encourage you to travel with a purpose. Make your travels purposeful. Don't do the same old boring thing. You know, you're not going to remember your travels, but if you go and help somebody, you're going to feel good. They're going to be grateful, and you will have done some good in the world. So I highly, highly encourage you to travel with a purpose, whichever corner of the world you go. Make your travels memorable and do some good in the world. This is Radhika. Thank you for watching. I am grooving and giving in early retirement today, cruising to Ha Long Bay in northern Vietnam. Thank you.